All right, here is our Terran player who played very well in the first game, but got a little bit unlucky in placement of the enemy landmines. He is
Liquid Jinro.
Liquid Jinro, representing Team Liquid, representing Sweden, representing the world.
Yeah, I mean he's a foreigner. He fits the foreigner classification.
Yeah. Lucky. Looks like he's doing similar to the last game. He did a...
You don't want to give him an intro?
Oh, I'm sorry. Dude, I've been out of this for a couple months. I'm rusty. Give me a break here, man.
I was like, do I stop him? I was just like, nah, I'll make fun of him about it.
That's a good idea. But I noticed, I just couldn't help, man, noticing that he's doing the same build as last time, where he went for the extractor trick and then scouted with the drone that he extracted.
Yep. Jinro looks to be doing, well, it's going to be doing probably a similar build. I think that's kind of like the, I might even say it's the most popular TVZ build right now, is to go Reactor Hellions into Blue Flame, into, of course, a command center, and then a dropship. You do the time. Go,
hey,
Sweden!
There we go.
Jinro fighting.
Dude, there is actually, yesterday at Code A, when Boxer was playing, there was like 7 people in the crowd. Today, with all the Swedish people playing here, there's like 20 people, 30 people in the crowd today. So foreigners coming out to represent. Jinro looks like he's going to wall off here in just a moment. A little bit better wall this time.
Yeah, the wall last time was a little bit strange.
You want to hear a funny story about this map?
Sure.
So I got to talk to some of the guys that work at Blizzard.
Yeah.
At MLG and at NASL. And I was talking with one of them about like graphics in the game and stuff like that, and new maps and all that. And one of them was like, he thought it was absurd that the watchtowers are warp gates.
I actually think it's absurd too.
I think it's absurd as well, but I was like, oh, that's kind of funny coming from like a guy that I don't remember actually. Yeah, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to like ruin this guy's reputation and say he's like making fun of GSL maps. I'm not gonna say who it was.
Well, I when I first saw this map, I thought it was kind of weird, but as time has gone on, it kind of grew on me. Like I got used to it.
It's grown on me, yeah. I think it's kind of cute now, but anyway, he thought it was pretty silly. Factory is going now, by the way.
Well, this map really has grown on me. At first, I thought maybe it was a little bit too small. There were certain things about it that I didn't like, but as time has gone on, I've seen a lot of really awesome games.
Yeah, there have been some great games on this map.
Yeah.
Sometimes maps are like that, where at first you're like, this map is just weird, but then the weird dynamic of it makes like every single game fun to watch on it. You're like, oh, that's actually a really good map.
Yeah, that's true. I actually felt that way about Tall Dream Ultra when it first came out. I thought, well, I don't know if this map is huge, it's very different, there's a lot of trees, it's like not like a Blizzard map, and then I was like, well, maybe it doesn't need to be like a Blizzard map, maybe it's just a good map, and then next thing you know, it's in the ladder pool, and Blizzard's like made their own version, which is really good, now it's in the GSL.
Nice. For some reason, the map that came to mind was Monty Hall. Do you remember that map?
Yeah, I do. Map was a little weird.
It was funny, though. It was made for some fun games. Anyway, Jinro has switched over. He's making those Reactor Hellions. This is kind of an interesting build. He's doing the same thing as last time as well. It's kind of interesting that he's going for the Reactor Hellions, and then he switched over and got the Blue Flame, and then he switched back to the Reactor.
Well, it's cool because as a Terran player, you can do that, which is one of the most awesome mechanics about being a Terran player, is you can switch between these add-ons, use what you need, and switch them again. Of course, the Zergling sees this. He's going to have a pretty good idea of what's going on.
1 hit point Zergling. Got away with its life, barely.
Yeah, he's going to be able to scout again.
That Zergling was just a foot, and somehow, even with just 1 foot left of his whole body, he was able to run away. 135th.
He's regenerating, man. He's at 7 hit points now.
All right. He's got a whole leg now. Anyway, second orbital is morphing in the main of Jinro as well.
Yeah, he's doing the exact same build that we've seen Slayer's Boxer do. I've seen a lot of other Slayer's players do. It's just the Terran versus Zerg trend right now. Jinro did it last game. The exact same build order.
Yeah.
It's such a safe, solid, and standard build now, though, that it's not like, even if Lucky knows he's doing it, it's not like Lucky's going to be like, well, I guess I win because I know what you're doing. It's not like that. And, but he can prepare for it.
Yeah, and Lucky has prepared for it again. He's got a really solid front door defense that we saw a moment ago with spines, Evo chamber blocking, Queens blocking, etc. So he's going to be in good shape. Lucky is going to be able to defend pretty well. Now, is he going to be able to defend as well if Jinro goes for the drop?
Well, he did make a second factory rather than a starport this time. So it's not
and he's getting
exactly
an armory.
the same build. Yeah, he's
That's interesting.
getting that quick armory for upgrades most likely. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go for the starport, but on this map it's a little bit more difficult to do that dropship play. There's not a huge area where you can lift up and drop down. You have to go to kind of a specific place, which makes it very obvious. A lot easier for Lucky to defend.
And
is he going to make some Thors and do a timing attack? I don't know. He's
there's
switched
a
to another
Thor,
tech
yeah,
level.
man.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to make... he's got 1 Thor in production right now. Will we see a second one? Yes, we will.
There we go.
It's
2
entirely
Thors.
possible we see a timing attack. I think we just might see a timing attack. I've never seen this before.
This is going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, Thor Blue Flame Hellion is actually a really good combo, especially, you know, pre-Mutalisks.
Yeah.
If you get there before Mutalisks, it's like Thors kill everything except Zerglings, and Blue Flame Hellions kill the crap out of Zerglings.
Yeah.
En masse, so it could be really, really good. He's going in here and poking with these Hellions, just trying to do some damage because the Zerglings can't do anything. He might as well get some free hits.
Yeah. And Spire is just now starting. The Thors are going to be out way before that. In fact, they're already done. Is he going to go ahead and do a timing attack? I'd love to see that. Burrow being researched right now, 14 more Zerglings in production. He is going to have +1 Carapace. Starting another Thor.
Oh no. These Thors are going to get a little bit of damage from the Zerglings that go. Oh no, the depots do not go up. So a few Zerglings do get in there. They're not going to do too much damage, but the scouting damage, I suppose, has been done. He saw those Thors, and now he's going to be like, uh-oh.
Roach Warren immediately
Roach Warren,
made.
yeah, there you go. So if he's going to do this timing, I don't think he can even wait for that 3rd Thor, which
he's got to go
in
now.
production. He's got to go right now, and he is moving out.
This is a really interesting timing attack. It's still going to be very difficult for Lucky to hold this. He's not going to have Roaches out. He's making a ton of Zerglings, but like we were talking about, there are a lot of Hellions out, and they're going to be able to do quite a bit of damage as well. I'd like to see Jinro maybe research +1 plating with this as well for his Thors. That would be pretty cool.
That would be a good idea, actually.
But even so, I think this is a really nice timing. The Zerglings are going to flank. Lucky is setting up at the 3rd base. He's going to try to attack from 2 different locations.
Yeah. This is going to be really, really close, actually. It's going to come down to micro and positioning. Thors are going to own that Spine Crawler pretty badly. Here they come in. They're going to start attacking the natural. Hellions are just standing nearby.
Yeah, Lucky is in a lot of trouble. He's actually waiting for Banelings. His Baneling has just finished. He wants to be able to take out the SCVs. They're repairing the Thors, but he may be waiting too long here. A lot of Roaches come out.
Roaches, though.
And the Thor's doing a good amount of damage. The Hellions doing a lot of damage to these Roaches as well. Micros them back.
SCV is repairing the Thor. Baneling's coming in, though. Oh, he's going to... Oh, he almost sandwiches the Hellions. Beautiful juke by Jinro. And the Hellions do get away for just a moment. They're going to be able to do some damage. Those Thors tanking tons of hits, but are eventually going to go down to the Roaches.
That's that, man. He held that off pretty well. It was pretty close. He waited for the Banelings. He was patient. He flanked like I was talking about. He had those Zerglings at the 3rd base. He morphed a lot of those into Banelings, and Jinro couldn't really micro. Now Jinro's in a tough spot. Let me give you guys some numbers. He's got 3 Hellions, 1 Thor, and 5 Marines.
Oh, goodness.
And that's it. And he's got, of course, 34 SCVs, but his opponent has 55 drones.
That's not much of an army. Luckily, Jinro, he can kind of defend. He can kind of sit back. He can defend his 2 bases. Lucky is only on 2 bases, so Jinro is not, you know, completely out of it or anything. He's not too far behind. He's definitely behind, but I think he's not in a terrible position.
Yeah.
He's going to need to do something before Lucky gets too far ahead with the 3rd base, though.
Well, what's going to happen here in the next few minutes of this game is that Jinro is going to struggle to take a 3rd base. He's going to struggle to move out because Lucky has the army and he's getting a 3rd base. So Jinro can't punish that 3rd base. He can't take his own 3rd base. And Lucky is just going to slowly crawl ahead. Jinro's going to have to make something happen. He's going to have to make magic happen.
He's going to have to make magic happen. That's right.
He's going to have to claw his way back through this.
Let me look over my shoulder. He has not gotten his wand out of his robe yet, so it's not looking too good. Mutalisks are going to come in here and find 2 Thors ready to own their faces, and are going to be forced back.
Yeah, Jinro is completely prepared for that.
Do Mutalisks have faces?
Yeah, they do.
They kind of do.
They've got actually like 12 eyes. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
I'm trying to look. I'm trying to see exactly how many eyes. It looks like it might just be 6. They're basically like bats. I wonder if they use echolocation to maneuver
Maybe,
around.
dude, when they pop out, they have that like high-pitched squealing sound.
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind of
true.
bat-esque.
I think they might use echolocation. How do they fly in space, though? How do they fly in space?
Maybe their wings can also flap against like dark
matter. Yeah, I don't know.
or something. That'd be kind of cool. What is this? Hellion?
It's a Hellion sneaking around, man.
Sneaking around.
Hellion's up
There's
to no
nothing
good.
more sneaky than a big car with a flamethrower.
And that's a race car. That's what they call it in the Chinese client.
Really?
Yes. Call them race cars. They call Zerglings dogs.
Dude, did you see that queen with the like banelings following it? That was kind of funny looking. Anyway.
She's their mother, man.
Jinro, he's getting his third command center up, and like you said, he is going to try and struggle to take a third base. Luckily it's not too far off. It's not a map where like your third is like way off onto this side of the map, like Crossfire or something. So it's going to be relatively defensible to hold his natural and his third at the same time.
Yeah.
So he's going to be okay in that sense, and he's got a lot of Thors out. So the Mutas and the Banelings are not going to be too big of a threat. But oh my goodness.
This is going to be a pretty big drop. This may be a mega drop. A Doom drop. But it's spotted.
Hellions spot it. Mutas are going to lead the way into Jinro's base.
Jinro's trying to get it.
Oh
He's got his units all stuck.
His
like
units are all stuck. He's trying to get back in the back here. He's got one Thor in there. Turrets as well. SCVs. Might die to Banelings. Roaches pop out. They're going to immediately take out the one Thor, but the siege tanks are in range and immediately start exacting vengeance on those roaches, and he might lose these overlords with all of his units inside. Loses only one with units, but that was actually not very good for Lucky, and Jinro takes a supply lead.
Yeah, Jinro got the best out of that he could have. Luckily was able to spot that. That's one thing Jinro's been doing perfectly throughout both of these games, is always scouting with the Hellions, looking for drops, Zerglings, bases, everything.
Look at this. He made turrets at the base before he landed the command center.
Got to be careful about that.
Make sure there's nothing burrowed there. You got to be careful about that. That's true. I'm sorry I interrupt you though. I thought that was funny.
No, it's true. And so Jinro's going to actually move out with this very mech-heavy army. He's got 5 Thors, 5 tanks, and 10 Marines, and 6 Hellions, of course, running around the map still as well. They're going to be quite helpful. As far as upgrades go, Lucky's got 1-1. The Thors have +1 though as well.
And we just saw an infestation pit finish. I'm really curious to see if we're going to see Neural Parasite actually, because that's actually a really good upgrade when the opponent has a lot of Thors.
That's very true. Thors, something you don't want to have fighting against you when you're a Terran player in this matchup.
I mean, you got 5 infestors, and suddenly you steal like, what is it, like 20 supply of their army, 30 supply. If you get all their Thors can take out tanks really easy.
Yeah, the army falls apart. Now, a little tip for you guys. I called this T-gunning the Thor because T-gun was the first person who ever showed it to me. If you have a Neural Parasite on the Thor, and when it's about to end, you type /dance, the dance command, the Thor will dance after the Neural Parasite expires. So it'll just be sitting there dancing, not attacking.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
It's called T-gunning the Thor, man.
That
That's
is
what I call
so funny. And those Hellions do not do much damage, which is unfortunate. Jinro would really do well to be able to get some drone kills at those bases. He's got the Blue Flame Hellions anyway, so it's a really good move.
He's going to be able to take this base out over here on the right side. In fact, Lucky didn't cancel it, so oops.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't cancel that.
Nice.
So Jinro, he was fighting from a deficit, but he's got this good composition. He's playing extremely patiently here, but this counterattack could do a lot of damage.
No, denied by a nice wall. Hellions and tanks behind those depots mean that Zerglings cannot even help with the battle.
Yeah, that sensor tower really helping Jinro out there.
And there we go, Neural Parasite, just beginning.
It's beginning, it begins.
It begins.
It's like a Heart of the Swarm trailer is actually what this game is.
Uh-oh.
Lucky being a little indecisive here. Now he's going to go forward. A ton of Banelings, but these units are stacked up.
Yeah, where's the backup? The tanks go down immediately. Thor's fighting, doing their best, but they just go down too quickly to the mass roaches, and suddenly Jinro doesn't have an army anymore.
Yeah, all he's got is that planetary over there on the bottom right. That's all he's got going for him. Lucky is making a hatchery, again, north of Jinro's base. Jinro actually can see it with the sensor tower.
Did Jinro, did he have something else somewhere on the map that wasn't there to support that?
Well, he has a pretty decent army at his natural.
Oh, okay. That was like none of his tanks with his Thors, basically.
Basically, what Jinro was doing.
I was like, what just happened there?
He was sending those units out to kill the isolated hatchery on the right side, and unfortunately just got caught out of position.
Yeah.
Lucky punished him for it. 8 infestors on the way. It's a lot of infestors. And these Hellions getting caught. Maybe.
Those infestors are going to pop out with the pathogen gland upgrade, and the Neural Parasite is about to complete as well.
Yep. so he's going to be able to neural pretty quickly. And that's going to be a scary position for Jinro. He can even neural tanks if he has enough units to buffer, which he does. He has a ton of roaches.
Yeah.
And if he goes in that natural and steals like 4 or 5 tanks, things are going to get pretty crazy.
That would be pretty nuts. We have Carapace for Flyers being upgraded, as well as, I believe, level 2 Ground Carapace.
Yeah.
And so Lucky getting his upgrades going on. What are Jinro's upgrades at? Oh, no.
Jinro's Planetary has been spotted here. He's going to have to lift that. At least he's able to keep it alive.
That's true.
These Hellions aren't going to do a whole lot of defending, but he knows there are going to be more units than the Hellions chasing those roaches, so he does run away.
Oh, that's so funny. That's the first time I think I've ever seen a Terran use that. He actually loaded the SCVs into the command center to save them.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever.
Do you even know what hotkey that is? Like most people don't know.
I think it's O?
Yeah, it is O.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Most impressive. You like actually do a backflip and climb up a pipe like while you're doing this?
I do a backflip and climb up a pipe and you're like, whoa, you figured out that hockey pretty quick. So Jinro is pretty back up there. He's down about 25 supply. Hold that thought. Roach is coming in here. All the depots go up. There's only a couple tanks, though.
Yeah,
they're
and
in
the
good position,
Infestors
though.
are coming, and so are Banelings inside of Overlords.
Oh, no, but he's not going in with the Overlords, though.
Yeah, a little bit of
letting the Roaches die.
Yeah, that was, whoa. That was really indecisive by Lucky.
Yeah.
And now he's actually fallen behind in supply.
If he'd gone in full bore with that, he could have crushed Jinro's base. He could have lost a lot, too. He didn't know how many tanks were behind there, I guess.
I'd like to see Lucky go for the gold base again, except this time with a much more solid army. He's got creep spread towards Jinro's base, so if Jinro tries to do a counterattack, you can see that. But the real scary thing is now that Jinro's got the gold base up, he's, it's like 4 bases versus 5 bases, but that's okay for a Terran. He's got a gold, and he's got a huge army.
Yeah.
Lucky needs to make something happen here pretty soon. He's making 12 Corruptors and a Greater Spire. I'd say that's making something happen.
That is definitely something happening there.
He's going to neural the SCV making the command center.
That doesn't get you the command center.
No, it doesn't.
Here comes that attack. He's going to try and take out the gold. Dropping Banelings all over. Does he have enough to kill that planetary? Looks like he does. He does, in fact, decide to just take the planetary out instead of attacking the tanks. Smart move. Takes out that gold base, which, like you were just saying, was kind of Jinro's hold on the game. But here's the thing. Lucky just used a lot of Banelings on that planetary.
Yeah, he's actually...
Suddenly, Jinro's maxed and Lucky's at 150 supply.
Jinro realizes this. He's actually pushing with his tanks and Hellions over here. He's even turn pushing with them just to be very careful. And a lot of drones going down here for Lucky. Lucky's in a really tough spot. He's just trying to get those Broodlords out. The Greater Spire is almost done. He has a ton of resources banked. He's just going to have to sacrifice this base and hope that he can get those Broodlords out.
He's just holding out for Broodlords right now because Jinro has a way bigger and better army right now. Greater Spire is finished, and we have 12 Broodlords in production, and Jinro has virtually no anti-air.
Yeah, he has... I'll tell you guys how much anti-air he has. 2 Thors and 5 Marines, and, well, now 3 Thors.
And he's got a couple Vikings in production, but, actually, if Lucky didn't save any Corruptors for those Vikings...
Which he did.
Oh, he's got Infestors. So.
Yeah, he's got Infestors. It's going to come down to his control, which units he fungals, and if he can get some good neurals off in key situations.
Ooh, that's scary.
But this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Look at the Broodlord army. It's almost as scary as Sen's Broodlord army at the NASL.
With Infestors behind it.
Yeah.
I think Sen had like 30 Broodlords, though, actually.
Yeah, that game was crazy.
That was insane. And here come the Broodlords. Jinro forced to unsiege most of his tanks and fall back. He did take out the entire left side of the map in the meantime, though. So he's going to be in good shape if he can take out this monstrous force of highest attack Zerg units barreling down upon his natural expansion.
These turrets are buying him a little bit of time. Now the Vikings are out and they're targeting down Broods.
Knurling those tanks to take them out. A little bit unnecessary, but does the job. And clears up that base. And here comes those Vikings, and I don't know what happened to the Infestors.
There they are. Wants to be very careful with how he handles this. Doesn't want to fungal unnecessarily. Doesn't want to miss any fungals.
Yeah.
Now Lucky is in an awkward position. As far as income goes, Jinro's got about 500 minerals per minute more income than Lucky does.
Yeah, Lucky just lost 2 of his 3 mining bases, basically.
Yeah.
He's still mining at 12 a little bit, actually.
And Jinro is going to have to protect this bottom right gold base, though, because Lucky is going right for it.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial. I think if Jinro holds that gold, he wins. At this point, if he doesn't, obviously he's gonna lose because he won't have any mining going on. And here come those Broodlords coming in. They are clumped up, so if the Thors can arrive on scene in time, they can splash those units. And he's not even moving his Vikings over there. Jinro is not responding to this attack. He's actually just sacrificing his gold, is what it looks like, which is not a good idea. The Broodlings are actually surrounding the orbital so much that the SCVs cannot repair it.
Yeah, and the Viking and Thor Legion has arrived now. He's going to want to knurl those Thors if he can, but the Infestors are so far away. There's a ton of SCVs repairing those units, so if he can get some good fungals, things can get nasty. And
oh, there's a fungal on most of the SCVs, and there is no longer very much. Okay, he's got more SCVs in the back, though. He can bring them in. Here comes the tank sieging up. We're going to force everything back with the Vikings.
This is a game-deciding moment here. And Jinro losing a lot of tanks in the front, knurls on some tanks, but the Corruptor's taking a lot of Viking fire here. The Broodlords not being able to, they have to retreat, and Jinro holds the gold.
Jinro holds his gold base. The Planetary still alive, starts dropping mules at it. That was beautiful defense by Jinro. Siege tanks just too much, and even though he went in there and knurled, the other tanks actually killed. I think he target fired the Infestors, so the knurl wore off quicker, and his tanks were able to kill off.
Exactly. That's
roaches.
exactly what happened. Now, Lucky, though, has been able to retake his own gold.
That's true.
It was under attack, but he was defending it during all of this. He was able to retake the other base over on the left side of the map as well. So, Jinro, while he was able to hold that, he is in somewhat of a tough spot.
Yeah, both players about even in mining right now, which is interesting because they were both killing off each other's bases so much, using up their bank, that neither player has much money at the moment. And so it's hard for the... Oh, nice fungal on all the Vikings, though! Knurls on the Thors. This is huge. Lucky may take out this gold after all. 2 Thors attacking the Vikings. There's still 3 Thors in the background. Knurl's going to wear off in just a moment, but in the meantime, he's making the Thors kill each other. And he's just down to a couple Thors and a single Viking to hold everything off. GG! Coming from Jinro and Lucky.
That one key engagement, man. And that's what happens when you're playing a mech style. If you lose your army once, you just lose the game. He lost so many SCVs as well during those engagements with the fungals.
It's true.
And he was relying on a lot of those for repair. And Lucky just went in with a very decisive engagement. And Jinro was doing okay, but just fell apart there at the last minute. Holding a gold base that's that far away is very difficult to do, but it's something that he kind of had to do, and I don't blame him for trying.
Yeah. Brilliantly defended by Jinro that first time. I was amazed that he actually managed to do that. But like you said, he just kind of lost too much, and, Lucky could replenish a lot easier. He had 50 larvae sitting around at all his bases because he was broke for a while and continued to inject. And so he was able to just remake off any money he had. He got those bases back up. And Jinro just couldn't remake. So when the second wave came in of equal power, he didn't have the same army again to hold it off, didn't have those Vikings. And that fungal on all those Vikings was huge, too.
Yeah, that changed the game immensely. And I was sitting there watching that, and I'm like, oh, those Vikings are doing so much damage to the brutes, and then suddenly the fungals hit, and I was like, well, they're not going to be doing that for very much longer.
No, especially when the Thors underneath them get neural parasited and do splash.
AoE damage going to the Vikings and the fungal, and then one Thor shot hits all those Vikings as well. The Vikings were, there was 8 of them in this little clump this big. It's tiny. And I'm making this sign, it looks like it's okay, but it's not okay because all your Vikings got fungaled. It's not okay, man.
That was not okay for Jinro. So unfortunately, Korea won.
Korea 1-0
Sweden
here.
0. Thus far. Now, that's not necessarily saying too much, though, because Sweden's, I think, more in-shape players are going to be coming up next.
Yeah.
We're going to take a 5-minute break, and we'll come back and see how the rest of Sweden can do.
Yeah. Up next,
GSL.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Thorzane.